effects of poverty on childhood development. Poverty is a major contributor to the failing educational performance of students in the United States. Low socioeconomic status affects physical well-being, brain development, educational performance, self-esteem, and self-efficacy, because 20% of children in the United States are classified as living in poverty. The impact of these numbers creates an immense strain on the public educational system. Educators are now facing skyrocketing numbers of students who are malnourished, have poor hygiene skills, and little to no parental involvement in their child's development and education. With little to no academic modeling, the vacuum poverty leads to the development and suffusion of generational poverty. This paper serves to analyze the devastating effects poverty can have on the development of young students and the challenges it presents to their education and future. The poverty and children. Having defined poverty and its prevalence in the United States, it's important to note the contributing dangers of poverty. Frequently, poverty comes partnered with other stressors, such as drug and alcohol abuse. Subsisting under the poverty level creates extraordinary amounts of stress, resentment, and anger. These negative feelings can lead to violence and physical abuse. It is reported that children raised in these circumstances are at extraordinary high risk for mistreatment such as physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. All of these contributing factors increase the likelihood that impoverished children will develop mental health issues. Despite the well-recognized effects these stressors have on children, colossal gaps exist between children needing mental and physical health care treatment and those that actually receive it. It is important to study the effects parental influences can have on child of poverty. Impoverished homes are more likely to be single-parent households, and of these, 72% are headed by a female parent. Within the parameters of generational poverty, mothers are increasingly likely to have little to no parental care, low birth rates, poor nutrition, and non-existent aftercare after birth. Oftentimes, these low parenting skills are born from insufficient income to meet child care needs. Detached priorities such as spending money on alcohol or drugs can lead to physical and emotional neglect. Additionally, the psychological stress of unemployment or lack of sufficient income on parents can also lead to austere and abrasive parenting. Parents under the stress of poverty also demonstrate less nurturing, reduced genuine concern for healthy development, and little academic modeling. Poverty comes with a cornucopia of hazards and threats that place impoverished children at risk. Positive nutritional habits are crucial for young developing minds and bodies. Malnutrition can be a serious detriment to cognition, memory development, and language aptitude. Undernutrition is at epidemic proportions among the impoverished in the United States. Studies estimating that nearly 12 million American children consume diets well below nutrition recommended allowances. Because research shows that lack of important nutritional dietary needs can have deleterious effects on the developing brain and can also lead to learning disabilities and behavior disorders. This probably exposes a storm of potential limitation for impoverished youth. Other risks and dangers are often associated with poverty are the high rates of drug and alcohol abuse. Indicates that impoverished households are predisposed to have at least one type of substance abuse. Alcoholism, the most rampant, is a great way to increasingly neglectful parenting as well as physical abuse. Evaluating the effects of the risks and dangers. Brain development is of critical importance of the cognitive, emotional, and social growth of children. In psychological terms, at birth, the brain weighs 25% of what will adulthood from birth till the age of 3. The brain undergoes rapid development and enlargement. In fact, the weight of the brain will triple during this time. Synaptogenesis, or brain cell growth and development, is so profound that the density of the brain cells is higher than it will be at any other point. It is lifespan and is 50% denser than the adult brain. Because the enlargement of evolution of the brain is incredibly vigorous in childhood, socioeconomic development, language development, and motor skills are highly sensitive to both positive and negative environments. Poverty has astonishing effects on the classroom. It is well established that poverty is one of the primary causes of school truancy and dropouts. Since the inception of No Child Left Behind, schools, teachers, and administrators are being held responsible for the scholastic achievement of all students. The call to provide a meaningful education to each and every student has created the pressure for teachers to understand their students. More specifically, the at-risk students have potential to fail. Studies suggest that efforts made by teachers can have a profound difference in creating positive experience in the educational journey of impoverished students. Teachers are called upon to be aware of students' life. They need to be prepared with the knowledge enabling them to recognize the subtle and often misunderstood manifestation of poverty among students. Students that are withdrawn, sullen, and seemingly apathetic are not necessarily displaying apathy towards education. Teachers should be armed with patience, understanding, and concern for the needs of the diverse students in their classrooms. The blight of poverty in the United States is deeply concerning challenge facing the education of youths who grew up in confines. The devastating fact of generational poverty leads to the failure of families, neighborhoods, and schools in rearing responsible, capable, and constructive contributors to society. The fighters are on the forefront facing the challenges of poverty are indeed educators. Now more than ever, teachers are called upon not only to impart curriculum to students, but they must also play the role of a co-parent. Motivating students to learn must be only one facet of responsibility teachers confront. No Child Left Behind has deemed that all students must achieve measurable success in the classroom. Teachers are faced with classroom filled with diverse students that no longer fit the middle-class measure of the educational motivation. Teachers must be knowledgeable about the signs and symptoms of both generalizational and situational poverty. Specific attention must be paid to impoverished students, coping skills to promote a rebound in self-esteem, self-efficacy, and academic achievement. Because education is viewed as one of the most significantly successful opportunities to break out of a cyclical poverty, educators have an ethical and moral accountability to maintain high educational standards for students.